Chief Gwet'in that is leading the fight against Tazeko's prosperity mine proposal. And of course we have Chief Chamberlin, who is very much at the forefront of the fish farm battle. And I just want Rafe to know and understand that in the 40-odd years that the Union of BC Indian Chiefs has been one of the foremost rights-based Native organizations in the province, I can never recall another occasion where our entire executive have come to an occasion like this to honor an individual such as Rafe Mair. So I want to acknowledge the ancestral lands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh, and I want to acknowledge all of the previous speakers. I can't recall an evening I enjoyed as much as I did in the last couple of hours. My only regret is my wife, Joan, is back in Penticton and wasn't here to be able to enjoy this incredible evening, this very special occasion to honor Rafe Mair. I spoke to Joan earlier on the phone, and Joan is very straightforward, always blunt. But she described Rafe as a man of great integrity. I became involved in the politics and the issues of Indigenous peoples about 73, 74. Very volatile times. It was the end of the anti-Vietnam War movement, the Civil Rights movement, the peace movement was happening, and in our communities, the Red Power movement was sweeping through the U.S. and Canada. And at that time, I had long hair, a red headband, sunglasses, and an army fatigue jacket. And I was very hostile and pretty much resented any representation or manifestation of authority. And that was pretty much the same time that Rafe became involved in provincial politics. And I have to be honest that I was one of those millions of people that listened to the radio and heard his, his opinions. And in the beginning, like probably all of our people, he wasn't at the top of our Christmas card list by any stretch of the imagination. We were incredibly passionate about Native rights, Native title, and all of the issues that afflicted our community, and those were incredible times. And we had to listen to Rafe Mair on the radio with his, his blunt opinions about our rights and the positions that we had taken and so on and so forth. And, I tell you, I pretty much have to say I hated Rafe Mair. I couldn't stand, hearing that, that voice and those opinions and whatnot. There was another individual around that same time that equally upset me, and I don't think he's with us any longer, but it was Doug Collins.
Oh, God.
I think he wrote for the North Shore News or something like that. But at any rate, as time went on and we moved forward, things began to change. Certainly things have dramatically changed in First Nations communities over the last 30-odd years. And obviously I no longer have long hair, And, you know, I don't have my fatigue jacket anymore and whatnot, and we've seen an incredible transformation take place with respect to Rafe Mair. He has marched with us, he's walked with us, he's stood with us, he's spoken out on all of the issues that are so important to our people in terms of the run-of-the-river projects, the fish farm issue, the Enbridge pipeline, the Site C dam, and most importantly, the Tasiko's Prosperity Mine project that never seems to die. I recall a couple of years ago we had a rally at the Art Gallery, and it was part of our National Action Day for Aboriginal peoples across the country, and Rafe came out to support us. And I remember we had to literally lift them up onto the small stage that we had set up there. And I can tell you that we are so grateful that Rafe has exemplified the irrefutable fact that there's only one race, and that's the human race, and that we all have a responsibility and an obligation to speak out, to speak the truth, to have the courage of our convictions, to oppose all of those terrible things that are happening throughout the province of British Columbia. I've been blessed with 11 grandchildren. Joan and I have been married now for 28 years. And I know you all know this, when you're a grandparent, you see the world differently. And we share this beautiful province of British Columbia, we share these beautiful lands, and our children and grandchildren deserve the same legacy that we inherited as a result of those people that came before us and knew and understood the value of the environment and the value of the relationships between one another. When we first came in contact with each other, it was based on a relationship of economic interdependence. And there was great respect between our peoples. There was a lot of intermarriage. And we knew that we shared the land. And we did so in a very good way. And then a lot of things happened in between, and that has changed. I think there's incredible things happening in the world today. I think of what happened in Northern Africa, the fact that there's a meltdown going on in Europe and everything that represents in terms of corporate greed and the Occupy Wall Street movement. I also believe that we are living a prophecy. Some 10,000 years ago, the Hopi people, their spiritual people prophesied that the day would come when all races of mankind would come together, because they knew and understood there was a need to protect Mother Earth, to protect the future of Mother Earth. But the prophecy also said that there would be another group of people representing the same races that would also come together, and they would seek to exploit Mother Earth. And I think that's what we're seeing throughout the world today. We're all part of that movement, and I just want to thank everybody that has maintained their beliefs and their values throughout the last number of decades, and it's just so encouraging to see this happen in terms of Rafe. I believe, and I have always believed that the primary function of leadership is to inspire, and Rafe Mair has inspired thousands upon thousands of people. He's made us think about what's happening in the world, and I really agree with what Joe Coy said earlier, that it's more about what Rafe is doing now and what he's going to be doing in the future And again, I see things through the eyes of my grandchildren, and I just want you to know, Rafe, that I am so grateful for your sense of honesty and your compassion and the love you have for the province of British Columbia and the people of British Columbia. I want to thank you for you having the courage of your convictions and speaking out, and most importantly, the true test of leadership is the answer to the question, did we make a difference? And there's no question in my mind that Rafe Mair has made a difference, is making a difference, and will continue to make a difference in this province. So I just want to say on behalf of the Union of BC Indian Chiefs and all of those people that we represent, we want to wish you a happy birthday, and look forward to working with you, to walking with you, to walk forward into the future. I'm going to ask our executive to offer their birthday wishes, and I'm just so deeply honored to be here tonight with all of these wonderful people and to hear the wisdom that we heard earlier this evening. You're a wonderful person, and we love you.
Good evening. Apparently, a few people do know me here, even though I wasn't aware of that when I first came. I'm honored to be here and celebrate Rafe and his birthday, even though I did not know him. I do so know him now. I'm very grateful to have gotten to know him in a very short time. And of course, this evening I thought we were coming here for roast beef. And as I listened on in the evening here, I was just wondering if this was Rafe is anything comparable to Judge Judy. And I have to say, very grateful, and I definitely would like to see Rafe back in the cabinet and also continuing to speak out and join us for Monday at court, where we will be facing Kwicksutaineuk limited injunction court. Now precisely at the courthouse.
Fish Lake!
I want to say Iches Lalach Bagi from Tamus. Happy birthday in our language, or the Kwakwa language. Bob Chamberlin of the Chiefs of Kwicksutaineuk First Nation. Many of you have heard of our territories referred to as the Broughton Archipelago.
Yeah.
With that wonderful little travesty called fish farms. And I was thinking, I didn't tell Damien, because Damien was the one that put the invitation for me to come. And I was thinking about bringing some food fish to share. But then I thought there's probably going to be some fundraising going on tonight. And I think the last thing we want is DFO to know there's money in the room and food fish. Now that we have a number of chiefs standing together in a drum, we now have a roadblock, and we have some rather distinguished guests standing behind us and supporting them. Life and society and politics is all about perspective and time. And I think there was a time when Elvis was offensive for his hip action, and now there's many that don't want him to be dead. Jerry Lee Lewis was a great rock and roller till he got married. And then here we are as First Nations executive of the Union of BC Indian Chiefs, standing to honor a great man. You'll just work for the social critic in a movie. It's quite a journey. I grew up in Nanaimo. My dad's a truck driver, which means he was NDP. Being born in 1964, it was me, the Mustang, the Beatles, So in the years that I actually started to pay attention, at the time of Bill Vander's Dam,
Oh, God.
and that's when I started to understand what social credit meant. And I think back, and you know, I know we're here to talk about Rafe, and I know that the directness that he has and the gift that he is to all humanity and to society that we all comprise. I think back to, as a young man, I saw the best of Jack Webster on television. And I remember him saying, he said, I've been called a male chauvinist pig, and it's simply not true. I'm just as rude to the women as I am to them. I think of Rafe, and I remember the rants and the wonderful, pointed discussions and the knowing the simple power of the question, and to have lead politicians squirm, and to insist and drag them to the muddy waters and let them know that it is not clear running water, and to make them insist that they see what is real. And so I see a man that to me growing up was an icon of just simple common sense. And I think all of us from time to time shake our head at what the government decides to do. At various, you can take your pick. I mean, let's be honest, there's a lot of mistakes that go on a daily basis. And too many people don't pay attention. Rafe Mair pays attention. Yeah. And I had the honor of meeting Rafe for the first time standing outside the office of the Department of Fisheries and Oceans about a year and a half ago. And we're talking about fish farms. And we're talking about the stupidity that the department and provincial government has perpetuated in this unholy marriage with this industry. And I know that there's a special day coming up, Rafe, and I want to alert you to it. And that's on December 15th and 16th, I believe it is. And that's when the Cohen Commission opens up for 2 extra days, 2 glorious extra days to examine infectious salmon anemia. And I want to see Rafe Mair on point, because I have a feeling there's going to be some rather groundbreaking, very disturbing news that's going to come about there. And it's going to take our collective outrage at the federal government to tell them that these fish are ours. And I don't just mean First Nations. I mean every one of you that's caught a salmon. Every one of you that has a cherished memory of going fishing with your father, or your uncle, or your grandfather, and putting fish away for the winter and enjoying it in February. That's what is your birthright as well as ours. And this is what Canada is. This wonderful lady behind me is starting to get a little bit worried about the time. Me too. I want to sing a couple verses of a song, and it's one from my hereditary chief, Kwicksutaineuk, which is Bobby Joseph. Many of you may know him. And the song, it talks about the life of the Thunderbird and the great journey, and about it soaring through the light and soaring through the world, with lightning coming down from its wings, exemplifying its greatness. And I can't think of a better person to sing this song for than Rafe Mair on his 80th birthday.
they'll sing happy birthday. Yeah, they're waiting. Join me now to sing our guest of honor onto the stage. Welcome Rafe Mair before his 80th birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.